The licenses have been blocked by other imperialist states, which have no interest in what we can evolve in our war. On the other hand, several other states have agreed to open their doors. This is the place for me to greet and thank them for their commitment to Burkina Faso in this fight. Here in Africa, we have judged it necessary to get together, especially in the Sahel, because we cannot do anything without union. This led to the creation of the Sahel State Alliance, a defense alliance a priori, but which will evolve into an economic alliance and much more. The AES is a space that is today a victim of barbaric, violent terrorism. But today we have understood, and the people have understood, that it is necessary to unite. And we invite all other Africans, all these oppressed peoples, to be able to unite to face adversity. We will defend the space of the AES as if we were defending our own lands here, because we have decided to unite with our brothers, countries of Mali and Nigeria to make our spaces a single space.
This is the journey to one Africa.
Peuple du Burkina Faso, camarades combattants pour la liberté.
People of Burkina Faso, comrades fighting for freedom, for peace and real independence. It is a pleasure for me and an honor to address you on this memorable day, marking the 63rd anniversary of the proclamation of the independence of our dear country, Burkina Faso. But first of all, allow me to thank God Almighty, who allowed us to be able to stand here today and address the whole nation. Allow me also to pay tribute to all those fighters who brave winds and seas and who allow us to survive. Allow me to pay tribute to all those who lost their lives in this fight, to all those who are now in hospital beds and who are seeking to recover. We pray to God that He gives them better health, the loved ones we have lost. We also pray to God that the free land of Burkina Faso is lightened for them. Comrades, allow me once again to pay tribute to all the sons and daughters of Burkina Faso who remain behind, who do not make any effort to allow those who are at the front to be able to fight. All those who contribute to the war effort, all those who are committed, who pray day and night so that peace can return to Burkina Faso. I will also pay tribute to the local imperialists who are behind, here with us, in the interior of the country as well as outside, to change the physical position of their shoulders. Because it is time that we stop and that we can look in the same direction and act, so that Burkina Faso can regain peace. We will no longer unroll the red carpet in its local valleys because there is a time for everything. Several years ago, Burkina Faso was on its darkest page in history. What is this terrorism that has been imposed on us, that haunts us and that prevents us from living? From a violent manifestation of imperialism? These imperialists, in addition to plundering our states, in addition to spoiling us through the local values that they have, put at the head of our states, states that they consider to be their sub-prefectures, today have reached their paroxysm by sending us a horde of criminals who kill men, women and children. We suppose that this is the peak of imperialism and neo-colonialism. The valiant people of Burkina Faso will accompany them in the decline. 1 year ago, we took office and we rebelled against the way this war was waged. The people entrusted us with a mission. We have no doubt about our people, their valiance, their resilience. This people who never abdicates, who does not give up, who faces adversity. We have decided with all our soul and conscience to take the destiny of this country and wage war, because the war could last if we never wage it. A witness is the dormant cells that suddenly woke up. When we decided to start the fight, these last days, you have noticed the intensity of the battle, which comforts us in our thesis, that there were several dormant cells that should have entertained this war for decades and decades. By engaging in this battle, we have appealed to the sons and daughters of the nation. We have no doubt the people have responded presently, more than what we estimate, and today even more. People are determined to engage in the battle. We thank this valiant people for understanding this message. In addition to this, we have wished for the people to finance their own war. This has been understood. Today, people support the fighting forces as they can. Many things are done, but we will still ask for even more sacrifices. Thank you to this people who understood that the only way to get there is to wage their own war, once and for all. Coming to the head of the state, we have found an army in disarray, poorly equipped, poorly organized, perhaps poorly trained. It is for us, first of all, to quickly appeal to the VDP who responded and also to equip them. This was not an easy task. Thank God, we managed to equip all those we were able to recruit. Within the army, already for the year 2023, the army has recruited more than 11,000 men. 5,000 others are about to be recruited in the coming days. Regarding reorganization, very quickly we understood that we needed organic units. This led to the creation of 6 rapid intervention battalions. And then 6 other rapid intervention battalions joined the different force groups. Today, 7 rapid intervention battalions are ready. Some have begun their deployment, and others will continue in the next 2 or 3 weeks. 5 other battalions are in formation to reinforce the ranks of these rapid intervention battalions. 2 airborne intervention battalions have been created. One is deployed in the Boromo area. The other will be deployed in the coming days in the Korogo area. On the side of internal security efforts, a lot of effort has been made. In the sense that, for the police, for example, we have reorganized the forces to build a group of intervention units, which are therefore alongside the armed forces to lead the fight. 12 battalions have been created in this sense, and others are in the process of being created. Within the gendarmerie, we have reinforced the forces by recruiting about 3,000 auxiliaries. One first phase is finished, the other is in formation. Likewise, in the ranks of water and forest, we have specialized a good part to form a unit that can act in the forests, which is now ready, and this unit is also in the process of being engaged. All the other internal security forces have been able to be equipped as they have never been before. But this is only the beginning, because we will continue to equip them and increase their power. On the side of the Air Force, it was necessary at some point to review our air potential. Today, we can proudly say that Burkina Faso is equipped with latest generation aircraft that allow us to protect our territory from the skies, which allows us to increase a certain number of results. Terrorists can today move from point A to point B. They can be attacked, but they will not leave without their weapons. Because we follow them, we track them down to their last resting place. There is still time for those who have been deceived, who have committed themselves to this battle to drop their weapons. Because there will come a time when it will no longer be possible to drop their weapons. All these battalions that are being deployed, material is still on the way, in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And when all this will be reunited and all these battalions will have a regional location, this phase of the development of the long-awaited war, serious things can begin. I once again call on those who have been deceived that there is still time to drop their weapons. Because there will come a time, we repeat it again, it will no longer be possible. Burkina Faso has decided to fight, and we will fight until the final victory. For the equipment, we have made a lot of effort, with the understanding of this people, which has accepted to sacrifice itself. Today, the units are equipped and it continues to grow. Because we want a professional army. An army that will defend Burkina Faso within its borders, even beyond, but for the interest of the Burkina Faso people. Efforts continue, and we will continue to strengthen the ranks, so that these dark situations that we have experienced can no longer happen in the future, with our children, our grandchildren. To accompany all this, it was also necessary, on the health side, to increase the capacity of our technical platforms, of the different hospitals and some CMAs that support the defense and security forces when there are evacuations of the injured. This allowed us to acquire a certain number of equipment, and also the ambition for us is to build modern hospitals to allow our... And it is this model of hospital that we want in each region, and that we can allow our caregivers to express all their potential, all their knowledge. Also in this area of health, this dengue epidemic. A dengue epidemic that has caused many victims in our ranks. Many have lost loved ones. All our condolences to the families who have been affected by this epidemic. But this reminds us of something. We must review our salinity and sanitation plan. What was launched a few days ago, the Presidential Initiative for Community Development, will take this area into account. And so I invite all populations to mobilize so that we can heal our environment. In the field of agriculture, we have decided to set ourselves a mission to achieve food self-sufficiency. In 2024, this is a challenge. For 2023, we launched the Presidential Initiative for Food, Self-Sufficiency and Food Sovereignty. It is for us to embellish a certain number of areas, to give inputs to producers, improved seeds produced by our local researchers, which today we can say is a satisfaction, because the results are beyond what we had hoped for. This still shows that we have good land. We have good men who know how to work the land and feed the Burkinabe. This encourages us to launch another challenge for 2024. Engines such as tractors have been commissioned as part of the initiative. The researchers have been strengthened, and we continue to strengthen them to find the adequate seeds. This is also what led us to open the Kupela plant last August to manufacture the inputs on site. Faso'S, the seeds are produced to lower the cost of the seeds for the benefit of our producers. In the same way, there is the agricultural offensive that was launched by the Ministry of Agriculture recently. And this continues in all the regions of Burkina Faso. I therefore invite the populations of the different villages to get involved, to develop everything that is low-lying, all the cultivable lands. And we will do everything to support them, so that we can produce as much as possible this coming season. The off-season is also launched at the point where there is surface water. And the support is made through improved seeds produced by our researchers, of a certain number of speculations that have already been given to certain producers. We cannot talk about agriculture without talking about the development of food agro. We are currently encouraging all our importers and all our economic operators to get involved in the production, in the transformation. Many factories will be born so that a certain number of food products are produced in Burkina, transformed in Burkina and consumed in Burkina Faso. And why not export? It is a challenge that we have launched, and we count on this brave population to accompany us. To be able to achieve this challenge, it is in this sense that we can give a lot of employment to young people who are trained, who unfortunately cannot express their talents, because there is no space that is offered to them. In the same way, the Ministry of Youth has been instructed to put an emphasis on professional training. This change is underway by federating all schools and all professional training centers so that we have a better view of the training provided and of what we need for the development of our dear homeland. Comrades, let's talk about the development of commerce. As you have followed it the last time, it was important for us to make an analysis of our economic situation. At the end of this analysis, we realized that a certain number of measures had to be taken, and we said that as of January, a certain number of measures will be taken, not to put pressure or to prevent some from exercising their functions, but for the happiness of Burkina Faso. We need to create wealth so that we can employ our young people. It is in this sense that we are going to develop internal trade. Our traders who leave the city for the countryside. We are going to encourage this product to be produced in Burkina Faso. So we invite everyone to take this data and to nurture the necessary projects so that in 2025 we can achieve this goal. As for cooperation, a good number of partners have refused to accompany us, to help us acquire the minimum equipment. Oh, this day, some equipment that we have paid in advance to certain countries that are favorable to us to deliver. The licenses have been blocked by other imperialist states, which have no interest in what we can evolve in our war. On the other hand, several other states have agreed to open their doors. This is the place for me to greet and thank them for their commitment to Burkina Faso in this fight. Here in Africa, we have judged it necessary to get together, especially in the Sahel, because we cannot do anything without union. This led to the creation of the Sahel State Alliance, a defense alliance a priori, but which will evolve into an economic alliance and much more. The AES is a space that is today a victim of barbaric, violent terrorism. But today we have understood, and the people have understood, that it is necessary to unite. And we invite all other Africans, all these oppressed peoples, to be able to unite to face adversity. We will defend the space of the AES as if we were defending our own lands here, because we have decided to unite with our brothers, countries of Mali and Nigeria to make our spaces a single space. Go and come, trade and defend. Bring peace, prosperity and security, because our peoples have the right to happiness. The El Dorado, which our peoples dream of, we can create it here. And we have confidence in this people. So speaking to the workers who have already made a lot of effort for Burkina Faso, I will ask you for more effort in 2024. There will be some measures that will be taken to further emphasize the contribution to the war effort. This will affect the public and private workers, and also the companies on their raw interests. The rate will be fixed, but it must allow us to increase the premium of our VAT by at least 35% and also to ensure them a certain life insurance, so that when they are injured or fall into the field of honor, that the charge is better than what we know. So there will be more sacrifices that must be made at the place of these valiant populations who have accepted to respond and who fight day and night on the ground. This is the place for me to pay tribute to them for their contribution, for their support of the different forces on the ground. Thank you. I could not finish my speech without thanking all these fighting forces who fight on the ground day and night so that we, in the back, can evacuate our occupations. I would like to thank all these workers, traders, peasants and farmers, who also fight and contribute to the war effort and to free our lands. Yet long live Burkina Faso. We will overcome death or homeland.
Ici en Afrique, nous avons jugé nécessaire de nous mettre ensemble, surtout au Sahel, parce que nous ne pourrons rien faire sans union. Ce qui a mené donc à la création de l'Alliance des États du Sahel, une alliance de défense a priori, mais qui évoluera vers une alliance économique et bien plus. L'AES est un espace qui est aujourd'hui victime de terrorisme barbare, violent. Mais aujourd'hui, nous avons compris et les peuples ont compris qu'il faille s'unir. Et nous invitons tous les autres Africains, tous ces peuples brimés, à pouvoir s'unir pour faire face à l'adversité. Nous défendrons l'espace de l'AES comme si nous défendons nos propres terres ici. Parce que nous avons décidé de nous unir avec nos pays frères du Mali, du Niger, pour en faire de nos espaces un seul espace. Aller et venir, commercer et défendre, ramener la paix, la prospérité, la sécurité. Parce que nos peuples ont droit au bonheur. L'Eldorado dont nos peuples rêvent, nous pouvons le créer ici. Et nous avons confiance en ce peuple. M'adressant donc aux travailleurs qui ont déjà consenti beaucoup d'efforts pour le Burkina Faso, je vais encore vous demander plus d'efforts en 2024. Il y aura certaines mesures qui seront prises pour encore accentuer sur la contribution à l'effort de guerre. Ça va toucher les travailleurs du public et du privé et aussi les entreprises sur leur intérêt brut. Le taux sera fixé, mais cela doit nous permettre de pouvoir augmenter premièrement la prime de nos vaillants VDP d'au moins 35% et aussi de les assurer une certaine assurance vie, de sorte que lorsqu'ils sont blessés ou lorsqu'ils tombent au champ d'honneur, que la prise en charge soit meilleure que ce que nous connaissons. Donc, il y aura plus de sacrifices qui doivent être consentis à l'endroit donc de ces vaillantes populations qui ont accepté de répondre et qui se battent jour et nuit sur le terrain. C'est le lieu pour moi de les rendre encore hommage pour leur contribution, pour leur accompagnement donc des différentes forces sur le terrain. Merci à vous. Je ne saurais terminer mon propos sans remercier toutes ces forces combattantes qui se battent sur le terrain jour et nuit pour que nous, à l'arrière, nous puissions vaquer à nos occupations. Remercier donc tous ces travailleurs, commerçants, paysans et éleveurs qui se battent aussi et qui contribuent à ce que nous puissions mener cette guerre et libérer nos terres. Vive le Burkina Faso, la patrie ou la mort, nous vaincrons.
This is the journey to one Africa.